This is Doug, a Doug story. Written by Douglas Scott Wreden. Read by Bandanity. Now, in order to make this a transformative piece of content and not just me stealing copyrighted content, I will be giving a voice commentary over the audiobook's reading, going through my sort of thought process and mental as I'm creating the audiobook. I'm hoping that a sponsorship with Douglas will come to allow me to complete this, to perform the full unedited one that will be available. We hope on all major platforms, Spotify, Audible. I think that's the goal. Forward by T. Morris, award-winning author of the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrence series and the author of Podcasting for Dummies and Twitch for Dummies. There are certain individuals that, on reading their story, you will never look at that individual the same way again. Whether it is the wisdom of Helen Keller, the artistic perspectives of Kenneth Branagh, or the heart-warming memories of blooded pets from Kirsty Noam, we read biographies to better understand those we admire, both in history and in our present. So here with the foreword, I've read this section already through fully. We try and identify any more complicated or difficult to say phrases, and then we practice those over and over so that they can be done professionally as expected, which made the read through this section a lot more easy to manage. Being one of the elite content creators, this rather ambitious tome written by someone who's been on this planet a whopping 34 years would no doubt feature gripping moments of a life laden with such turmoils as a cafe mocha that tasted a bit too cafe in the moment and needed more mocha, or the trials of finding that his sneaker collection lacked the Louis Vuitton x Nike Air Force One collaboration. Perhaps there would even be the shocking and somewhat heartbreaking tale of Wreden alone in the rain as some kind of David Tennant stand-in, as he watches an Uber he booked half an hour ago drive by, completely unaware of his perceived social status. Sure, Doug would say, as raindrops would mingle with his tears. You may have noticed in the background of this my two cats are present. They will be present throughout most of the video. The black one is called Cassie, and the brown and black one is called Bonnie. Please say hello every time they appear. A dash of Schadenfreude. I was wrong. So very wrong. What Doug, a Doug story, offered within its bindings was so much more than I could have been prepared for. Reading this biography, I find myself processing the intellect of a newborn babe. My emotional state had been reduced to that of Arkansas. Physically, I was drained, an empty vessel, so desperate to be refilled, but asking, in the end, what's the point? Which is kind of trippy when you ask, wait, you're an empty water bottle experiencing an existential crisis? What the fuck kind of writer are you? I am an award-winning writer, thank you very much. And I am getting deep, so strap in, Sparky, and keep reading. Doug, a Doug story, is not just a transformative work. It is a transcendent work. It is a work of literature that broadens your scope of reality. This was one of the sections that had been practiced beforehand. It has a lot of very long and eloquent words, which is great during reading and writing, but yeah, when you're reading it very quickly during an audiobook, it's one of the ones where you have to get the clear pronunciation of every single word. Transcendent, for example. This is a book that students generations from now will be required to read in school, and because of Doug, a Doug story, will never pick up a book again. Upon finishing Doug, a Doug story, I now find myself asking if there is room for my own writing. Does my own perspective even matter in a world graced with Wredens? I don't know anymore about my writing, about my gaming, about my content. This is why I will be retiring to a monastery, somewhere in Southeast Asia, just after TwitchCon 2025. Funnily enough, my own experience with reading this book is actually very similar to that of the author of this foreword. Disappearing into a fog of obscurity, my own wife and child looking to one another in their twilight years and asking each other, remember that guy who hung out with us all that time? He used to mean something before Doug Wreden completely wrecked his self-esteem. Yes, once my name and all for which I built surrenders itself to the sweet embrace of insignificance, I thank you, Doug Wreden, for offering me a place in Doug, a Doug story. The epiphany of where my place is in society, and yes, in the universe, truly is. Thank you, Doug. Thank you. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. Dug dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug dug dug. Dug dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug. Now, at this point in the book, it becomes very clear that it's quite difficult to properly communicate what the author is intending to convey. One of the problems as an audiobook reader is you cannot communicate with the original writer, so ultimately the interpretation that you put up in your interpretation is always going to affect the reader's, well, in this case, the listener's understanding of the book going forward. Dug 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 dug. Dug dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug. It is about this point that I begin to realize just how long this is going to take. I think you need to understand that when I sat down to do this, my original intention was to do the entire book in one sitting, and I think I very quickly realized how difficult that would be. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. As you can hear, by about 2 minutes in, we're already starting to no longer hear Doug as a word, and now as a sort of sound. It's becoming increasingly difficult to form the word Doug. It will get worse. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. The only thing that really breaks up the sea of dogs is the punctuation. So anytime you're hearing a pause or rise in tone, that's effectively where there's either question marks or full stops or commas, and that's really helping to sort of give a structure in a sentence to the Dougs. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. Dug 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 dug. So here at about the 4-minute mark, I'm now genuinely struggling to form the word Doug with my mouth. Like, my body forgot how to form it. Like, I physically could not remember how to make the noise because there was so much concentration and focus going on to repeating that one sound that it just didn't feel correct. Dug 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 dug. In the section that's coming up, you'll really start to hear how much I'm starting to just struggle with even making the noise Doug, which is really insane for the fact this is less than 5 minutes. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Here I'm attempting to work out whether saying Doug, Doug as 2 words or as 3 words is easier or more consistent. I'm a musician, so triplets or like duplicate phrases sound easier to work with. There was one point where I even tried to turn it into music and it just completely collapsed and did not work. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. You're about to see maybe the only time in this so far that I basically completely break from this quite serious audiobook attempt. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. We can edit around it. Doug, Doug, Doug. And we could in a real professional recording, but I think it's important to show the profound effect that the Doug book has on me as an individual. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug. I remember this section. This is the section where I genuinely forget how to form the sound Doug with my mouth. You can hear me fucking literally processing how to make the sound Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug. I'm beginning to really struggle here with the word Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. I think it was at this point that I truly felt the last shred of sanity leave my body. I very fortunately found that I did in fact have a will to live. But the problem was I only found it because this book took it from me. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug. Doug, Doug, 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 Doug. Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, Dog. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug. Doug, Doug, Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Doug, Doug.